ahead. No, we're moving on.
Great,
moving.
please.
In the back. Go ahead.
You said you were stopping the flow.
Thanks, Karin. Will we see the president try and get directly involved in trying to avert this possible government shutdown? And will he be speaking with Speaker McCarthy? And if so, what's his message?
So look, the president regularly, that is, and something that he will continue to do. I don't have any conversations to lay out, but I said this moments ago, right? Which is the president and the speaker came to a deal in May. This is not for us to fix. This is for House Republicans to fix, the extreme House Republicans. This is on them. There is a deal. A deal is a deal that they voted on in a bipartisan way. It is up to them to fix this. The message is very clear. What he says in private is certainly what he says in private is the same as what he says publicly, which is there is no reason for Republicans to shut down the government. House Republicans should stop their partisan games and keep their promises and also do their jobs. That's the message that the president is sending.
Given everything you
Damn! Alrighty then!
Hold on, I'm calling. Good, Gabe. Welcome to the briefing room.
Good to be here, Karin. Thanks so much. I want to go back to immigration. In addition to Eagle Pass, El Paso is also seeing a new influx as well. I understand your comments about being a broken immigration system, but the administration also took credit following the end of Title 42 for the drop in border crossing numbers. Is it now taking responsibility for the rise in numbers?
So here, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gabe. I'm so sorry. Finish your.
Yeah, and then secondly, you mentioned those 800 new troops that are going down to the border. Do you think that'll be enough?
Look, it's on top of what we have done already in the past 2 years under this administration. Look, every year, as you know, Gabe, I know you follow this very closely, U.S. sees ebbs and flows of migrants arriving fueled by seasonal trends, as you know, and efforts of smugglers to encourage migration. That is something that we see over and over again. And so certainly that plays into this. And so, and I understand your question, but here's the thing. As you know, the president has taken action upon action to try and deal what is happening at the border. Historic action, without the help of Congress. And so we have asked over and over again to do this in a bipartisan way, which is why the president, his first piece of legislation was to deal with the immigration system. And and understanding how critical that is, it was to do that. And so we have taken actions. We have taken multiple actions. But again, this happens. It ebbs and flows. That's what we see at the border for different trends, for different reasons. And so we made, we think, 3 important enforcement announcement yesterday. It's on top of what we've been able to do, and and then you see it for yourself what Congress has tried to do. Put forth a piece of legislation, a CR, a resolution that does the opposite of what we're trying to do. When we're trying to fight fentanyl, right? When we're trying to deal with smugglers, when we're trying to put more legal enforcement at the border, they're trying to reverse that. And so that is the reality that we're dealing with. And so the president's going to continue to be committed, make sure we do this.
What? Why? Why?
In a humane way, make sure that we do this in a safe and orderly fashion. And that's the commitment that the president has to the American people.
There's a lot of focus in here about what's happening at the border, to what the White House can do with Congress to solve that problem. The one thing the White House can do on its own is foreign policy. Who's talking to Venezuela about why these people are still coming? Who's talking to Panama about the Darien Gap and who's allowing them to come in? And whatever happened to those State Department and Spain and Canada centers that were going to be set up along the route?
So on the
to
last,
make sure that people would have options.
All very good questions. Clearly, the centers, we would get more information for you on that. But look, these diplomatic conversations are incredibly important. You heard from the National Security Advisor. These are conversations that Blinken is having, the Secretary of State is having. The President, let's not forget, just last fall brought 22 countries together to talk about how migration is affecting the region. And remember, they signed a declaration. Look, these diplomatic conversations will continue. It is not an easy issue to deal with. right? But they're going to continue. What the point that I'm making, and the point that I think you all some of you have reported on, this is a president that has taken historic action.
Yeah, baby.
On an issue, on a system that has been broken for some time. And we have been very clear, we would like to do this in a bipartisan way. We would like to do it with the help of Republicans, but right now we are doing it in the best way that we can, taking diplomatic actions that you just laid out, right? Having those conversations, seeing how we can work with this issue, because it's a regional issue. This is a West Hemisphere issue, right? And so we're going to continue to do that, and also make announcements like we did yesterday to deal with what's going on at the border. Okay, all right. Take one more question for some.
Oh my God!
That's why it was important that we saw bipartisan support to deal with gun violence. But that's the reality. That's the reality that communities are dealing with. And the president's going to try to do everything that he can to deal with this epidemic. I'm certainly not going to get ahead of the president. You all will hear from the president and the vice president tomorrow on their gun safety announcement. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
Was that a fart? I don't know.